everyone, and welcome back to Niche, the Secrets of the Swamp. And we are here with our swampland tribe, who have been kind of venturing away from the shores. Wow, that was a lot of S's all at once. My tongue is not going to work properly after that. But yeah, so we are here with our tribe, who's currently kind of heading away from the shores here and into the depths of the swamp. We're going to try and keep everybody centered in the swamp and away from the sea, because even though we do have our platypus beak creatures who have been very, very helpful, the goal of this is to survive in the swamp, and we already have a sea tribe, and so we're kind of letting the platypus beak line die out a little bit. We're not trying to keep breeding for that trait. We're going to be breeding for traits that will help us survive deeper in the swamp, like the Poison-Fangs, or the purr snout, like little Roku here has. It's kind of funny, Roku's a little bit different than the others that we've had of his name in our various tribes, because rather than being a warrior, defender, leader, he's actually a healer. It's his job to protect, I guess if we had to choose a royal family, it's probably this one, because they're the ones who are probably going to end up with the greater portion of the creatures on this island descended from them, because they're our main Poison-Fanged family. And they're going to be probably the utility creatures. We're going to have them be our gatherers, but also our defenders. And then we also have our specialized healer line, which is currently the most abundant. But Roku is actually one of our healers. Now, he is from this line, but it's also his job to protect them. And so we'll make sure he stays nice and close, just in case they need him. But we're going to go ahead. It looks like we're actually out of moves for this day, pretty much. So we're going to go ahead and we'll start a new day. And okay, lots of things happening. Oh, okay, that's right. We've had Roro, who's having to gather from some of these bushes here to kind of, that's you, right? Yes. To kind of make sure that we're going to have enough food. Unfortunately, he is having to help out here. And oh my goodness, okay, Shadow's getting pretty old too. Did you not? Oh my goodness, she actually is not pregnant. Okay, we have got to have, you can come back up here, you'll step over here, we'll have you guys breed, and then I'm gonna send Kirta. Is Kirta the one we decided we wanted to breed with Shade here? E and B, K and C, yes. So, and also with I think with a Wisp as well, perhaps. Or, actually, no, not with Wisp, but with an Ice Ray here. So we'll go ahead and we'll have Kirta. I'm going to mark all of these guys with orange because they will be our next main breeding creatures here, I guess. But I would like to see this claw pass on a little bit too. We have yet to see that happen. So I think I'm going to send Wisp down here to help gather, because we definitely need to make sure we're getting more food. And since Wisp is not going to be a breeding creature, she probably will become one of our gatherers. Now, okay, we'll make sure Lassie continues to purr and keep these guys healed up. And then I'm going to bring Ray this way, and we'll see if we can have her manage to dig anything up over there. Meanwhile, these guys are going to work on taking out a Crabbit. Very nice job, you guys, and we still have some food we can dig up there. Now, let's see. Is there anything that our blind platypus beaked creature can get here? Her name is Raisisi here, and she's actually been pretty helpful. Despite being blind, she actually has been very good about finding food. She probably has a pretty good sense of smell due to not having her eyesight. In fact, yes, she does. She actually has additional smelling and a little bit of additional hearing as well, thanks to her blindness. That sometimes will happen where you'll have, when somebody is blind a lot of the time, their other senses will actually grow stronger in order to kind of compensate. And that is something that happens. Now, the one thing that's a little worrying about this situation here is that we've gone a long time without having any rain. Now, here, that's really not a bad thing, but it's a little worrying because I can't help but fear that it's going to start up again without warning, and we may be in a bit of trouble if it does. Now, these guys are starting to get older, and so I think we better have them gather up that from that plant there, kind of clear out a little bit more, and we'll have them head back to their nest because we need to make sure we breed them before they get too old. Oh, and it's actually me and Nasi's last day too. Oh my goodness, we're losing a lot of our creatures here. So Rovan, though, we also want to make sure that we breed with Cece here. We should probably do that pretty soon. I'm just hoping that Kuvan and Isray here will have a Poison-Fanged baby. And so far, we're really not having that much luck. Now, Kolana actually has decent genetics. She doesn't have the Poison Fangs, but so far she's the only one to not have the no paws. So I'm actually going to put her on Alpha. These guys, I think, are going to have to be Omegas, who will end up helping us do some gathering. So I'm going to put them on Yellow. And unfortunately, I think we're going to have them risk the, we'll have to have them risk the poison berry bushes over here, because we need to keep gathering food. It's going to start dropping if we're not careful here. Now, these guys can kind of linger around in the nest area. We'll keep Roku nice and close to them, and we'll keep Kirta up here. We also have little Lala, who I think she has pretty good genes. She's not the greatest. We have C, and we do have E. Okay, so Lala, I think I'm probably actually going to go ahead and we'll name her Wraith. I'm going with kind of ghostly names for this tribe because they're going to be rather shades of the forest, or not of the forest, but of the swamps, I feel. Very dark creatures scampering around, staying just out of sight. I have a feeling that's what we're going to end up seeing them become, so we'll give them kind of fitting names with that. And there we go. Fertility is a little bit of an issue sometimes, but I think that's about it for this turn. So maybe, I think we'll go ahead and we'll start a new day. I don't want to breed these guys just yet. We want to make sure we do it so we have a chance of passing on these antlers, but we don't want to do it just yet because I don't want them to, oh, wait a minute. Okay, they are being healed. I was like, wait a minute, do we actually heal them up? We'll make sure we see purrs again to keep that replenished, but we will breed them eventually, just not quite yet. In fact, I'm actually going to have them destroy these, and that's 5 days of damage and 7 days of damage. So yeah, that should heal up by the end of their lives. They'll be fine, as long as we make sure we keep healing them. So let's go ahead and we'll start a new day. Alright, lots of new babies born. We have a very large population. Wait a minute, are you sick? No. Who? Oh, okay, good. So who took that damage? I don't actually... No, I guess nobody's sick. I don't know what I was seeing there then. So, oh dear. Who got leeched? It's not you. That's what's important. Wait a minute! Hello! Who's here? Kirkir? Please join us. Please join us. What genetics do you have? F and I, and... Or no, you have F and I. He has F and C. Oh, darn it. I was gonna say they might make a good pair, but I'm not sure they will. They both have that derp snout, and he does have the poison fangs, but he also has that scorpion tail. And unfortunately, no antlers. So he also can't gather. He can try, but he can't for sure do it. So let's go ahead and we'll see down here too. No pun intended. The C as we're fishing. Oh, is you who got the leech there. Let's make sure that we keep these guys moving. And there is a bearyena lurking around somewhere in the bushes here, and I don't know where he's gotten off to, so we gotta be kind of cautious of that. I don't hear him. He's somewhere in the darkness, so we gotta be a little bit wary of that. So we need you to start gathering, and you're gonna need to start gathering, but we can actually stop breeding these guys, and let's momentarily, I'm gonna bring Kuvan here and just make sure that we have him purr so that these guys do get the healing buff. That's probably what his job will be from now on. And Isray may have to join the gatherers because Cece here is probably going to, well, is going to become our breeding female. Now, we definitely need to get those blind eyes out of her genetics because that is not good at all. And we want to get this tail in, but we can't mutate it in. So I like to try and probably take out those webbed hind legs because we don't want to see our creatures getting crippled by them. And there's already enough of a chance of that with Ease right here. Thankfully, both of these guys, well, you have it secondary, and you also have it secondary. That's unfortunate. But let's move Kolana out. And I think what I'll do is I'll breed these guys. I'll have you gather and gather. We'll move Kalana out of the nest, and we'll put Cece in it. And then I'm going to move Robon a little closer as well. And Izray, I'm afraid... Well, no, you can't even gather. You can try... Oh, she just got poisoned and it didn't even do any good. Great. Roku, how about you take a break from your family, or from tending to your family here, because they seem to be doing pretty well, and just make sure you heal her up. I don't think anybody over here really needs too much help currently. Maybe we'll keep the ram horns for the healers. I really like the antlers for the poison-fanged creatures, but maybe we'll keep the ram horns for the healers, because that's a little bit different. So we also have Miana here, who has the same immunity as Roku, it looks like, and again, that mask. I'd like to see that brown fur continue into the healers, perhaps, and then the gatherers will have the darker fur, because both of these options provide camouflage in the swamp. You can see we have color camouflage there. So, let me see. I'm going to move little Wraith out of the nest, and I'm actually going to bring Mary over here. We'll make sure we breed her with Shadow and have her nest. And then Wisp can make sure she continues to gather there. And let's look at this new little baby here, Nuduke here, who has that very strong looking claw and poison fangs. So he'll probably be the start of our defender line. Now I almost wonder, Wraith? No, unfortunately we can't breed any of these guys with him, but I would like to see him pass on those claws to someone if possible, and we'll put them in the mutation menu of whoever we end up breeding him with, probably, because we do want to make sure we have that nice claw in the family, so we have some defenders as well. Now, does the red fur actually give color camouflage? It looks like it does, which makes sense because the ground is a little bit reddish. So that's something we want to keep in mind. We might want to split off our defender line here from our gatherers. Now, let's have these guys continue to explore around and kind of just clear out some of the pathways here. And if we find any roots, that would be good, but I don't see any. And those guys have already had their move. We'll make sure we keep healing these guys up. And I think you can keep gathering. Rysana is also getting a little older too, which is not so good. But let's try and breed these guys. And look at, they actually, well, no, the spots are what's brown. And on you, you have dark brown, I guess dark brown fur. So let's bring Kois up here. I'm going to check their mutation menus because we actually haven't set anything. And you have the ram horns. You do not. Can we put those in? Well, he has them secondary. Yes, we can. So let's check on his genes. Honestly, they're pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and put those in there. Those are kind of just like a nice extra defense for if the healers have to defend themselves, but it's probably going to be their only defense because we're probably going to give them some other sort of advantage here that'll be a little bit different. Now, I think the other main thing would be fertility, but we can't do anything about that. So what I think we want to do for our healers, I think the best paw type would actually be this runner leg, because we do need them to be able to move pretty fast. And so we'll keep their medium body here. We might even give them the lean body if we can get that into the family. I don't really want to give them the toxic body, even though that might be nice, but we'll see. Because I think that'll slow them down too much, because they need to be able to avoid the mosquitoes is what I'm thinking here. Now, let's see. I want to get rid of that big body if possible. So let's try and get rid of that. And we'll put medium body in. And I'm going to try and get rid of that hemophilia, because that's also going to be a problem. Man, that'd be ironic if our healers are the ones who have hemophilia. So let's make sure we breed them, and we'll see if they can have a baby. Now, these guys are all growing up, and we're about to watch this generation pass. Unfortunately, Shadow and Mary and Mossy are all getting pretty old, and it's not Knight's last turn yet, but I think we'll have her gather. And we want to make sure she can spend her last day here near, well, first his last day, but we want to make sure she'll spend her last days with her family, and specifically with her brother, who she was very close to. It's also Lossie's last day too, so we're going to be losing one of our founding healers. Now, let's make sure that these guys can continue to dig around and get to any of these Platypus Peak dig sites that we may not have checked recently. So let's come over here, and unfortunately I'm really not seeing too much to gather. Maybe we can have Lyzra make her way around and reunite with this part of the tribe, perhaps. And we already had these guys move for the turn, yep. So we're gonna go ahead, I think, and we'll start a new day. Here we go. So, oh, okay, we have a lot of, who took so much damage? I don't actually know. Oh, I think a lot of our creatures who had the, who have been having to gather. And oh my goodness, our food is dropping rapidly. Well, let's look at who we have here. So we have little Kirta, who's got decent genes. But I want to see. So we have H and C, H and B. So we have Rara. I wonder. Well, Kirta's actually a digger. We definitely want to make sure we're gathering. We want to make sure Roro continues to gather, even though that's going to be probably pretty damaging to him, unfortunately. We kind of have to do what has to be done here to make sure we're going to have enough food. And let's make sure that Takukir is on Alpha here. So we want to get these the antlers in the family. So E and G. So Shade has E and doesn't have a G, but Anais right here has H and B, so I think I'll actually have her end up breeding with Takukir here. So we'll mark him with orange, and we'll bring her down this way. Now, Shade will stay up here, and maybe we should give Kirta, I don't know, what would be a better name for Kirta? We'll see. But we'll keep them here. And there's two Kirtas, so we've got to give him a new name. So we have Shade. What will be a good name for him? Maybe, I think I'm going to call him Haunt. Because he can haunt the grass here in the depths of the swamp. Like a little, I guess I can't say red shadow, that doesn't make sense. So let's bring Wraith down here, and she can help Roro here, so that he doesn't have to take so much damage. And Nuduk here can come over here. We'll bring Mary down here. We'll breed them. I'm actually going to have her destroy this nest. I'm going to move Miana over here near Roku. She'll probably end up dispersing out, though. And let's make sure that Knight can come and sit by Shadow and keep him company on his last day. Now, Mossy's going to outlive him, so she'll probably end up being the nest matriarch here. But we'll hopefully have Mary have one last clawed baby before her time runs out. So I'm going to bring Kolana. Well, so if we're already... So do we already have C in this family? We do, yes. And do we have C in all of our families? Yeah, we've got it with Dukta. Even these guys have C. So because Kolana has... she does have the antlers, but so does Takirku here. Because she doesn't have the Poison-Fangs, I'm going to take her off of Alpha, and we'll make her one of our Omega gatherers, because we really need somebody to help us with this food. There's so much food that's going to start to go to waste here if we're not careful. So we've got to have these guys continue on and keep gathering as much as they can. Otherwise, we're going to be in a bit of a tight spot here. Now, Kuvan can kind of come over and heal some of these guys up, I think. And make sure, and we'll let Roku heal some of them too. And then we'll make sure we stay here. Now let's look at who we have here. So we have Kirduk. Now these guys don't, well, they have a potential of having inactive antlers, but what we're mostly trying to get with these guys, since neither of them have the Poison-Fangs, is actually the Scorpion Tail, and it looks like we've succeeded. So who all in this tribe has the Scorpion Tail? I want to see... So we definitely have it with Kirduk. And we also have Race. Now, Race has it. Now, I like the Scorpion Tail. And I definitely want to try and keep it in there if we can. So maybe we'll try and breed, so F and I, B and G, let's try and breed him with race. So we'll put him on alpha. I'm going to have these guys stop breeding then because we're getting too many creatures and we need to kind of chill out with the breeding there so that we don't have to worry about that. And I'll have her back away from the shore this time. So let's see. These guys can continue to look around and gather, possibly find some more. Yes, another dig spot. We'll have these guys kind of keep it moving. Oh, there's actually a water-breathing plant there. That's pretty cool. And you can make sure you're gathering. And let's see who we have here. So we have little Kook here, who has the double ram horns, which is good to see. And Ian C, although his fertility is not the greatest, and he does not have hemophilia, so that's a good thing. Let's keep breeding these guys. And we'll go ahead and we'll build a nest. So let's see, is there anything else we really want to do? I think we'll just have Mara continue to explore, and then we should probably send someone kind of off into the woods there to see if we can find out what became of that bearyena. So maybe I'll have Kirkir start moving out. We'll have Race continue to explore, and we'll bring Kirkir over this way and kind of have him head out that way because he really can't gather. And so we may as well try and see if he can find some food that he could just pick up off the ground. Now, I think that's about it for this turn, so we're actually going to go ahead and end the episode here because it is about that time again. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the episode. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. But until then, this is Jay, over and out.